In the professional world, everyone is expecting you to use a blueprint for success. But the biggest wins are usually found outside the lines. How do you commit to your ideas when everyone around you is telling you to stay within the lines? Welcome to Unifest Talks. We interview leaders who built their own unique path of success and growth. These are the entrepreneurs and creators who had to build their own blueprint, showing us how to transform raw vision and sheer resilience into undeniable, unconventional success. We focus on the wisdom gained from staying in the process, not just the final result. This episode of Unifest Talks is brought to you by HKD Digital, our partner who believes that intentional endurance is the key to lasting success. Visit unifest.com to learn more about our partners and how they support you, the next generation of global co-creators towards a better life. It's time to manifest the best version of you. Time to learn the art of intentional endurance. Welcome to Unifest Talks. I'm your host, Rex Remitio. And if you've ever felt like your journey doesn't look like anyone else's on social media, you are exactly where you need to be. My guest today is the visionary behind Teatro Meron, a new theater collective dedicated to nation building through classic and timeless works. He is also renowned as an award-winning playwright and director who is pioneering the use of theater as a tool for modern education and transformation. We're going to talk about Teatro Meron and how his life journey from honing his craft as an actor in iconic classical roles to becoming an academic leader and Agawad Buhay award-winning playwright led him to dedicate his work to nation building through theater, which aligns to our focus on passions and art as a powerful and unconventional tool for cultural transformation and educational leadership. Let's welcome our guest, Mr. Ron Capinding. Sir Ron, maraming salamat and welcome to Unifest Talks.
Maraming salamat, Rex, at salamat sa inyo sa pag-imbita sa akin. At salamat din. Magandang araw sa mga nakikinig sa Unifest Talks.
So first things first, no?
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about Teatro Meron and what is it all about?
Teatro Meron is a theater group that I facilitated to found. I don't claim to be the actual only founder of that, but it took my whole team and group of friends to help me do that. No, so it's just been launched this year, mga August 10. We decided that every time we launch a season, it will be August 10, the birthday of our mentor, Dr. Ricardo Abad, who just passed away last December 2023. So all those elements, no, Teatro Meron is very much related to Dr. Ricky Abad, our mentor. We learned a lot from him, the knowledge, the values, even the generosity, and even the professionalism. So I've been wanting to form a theater group ever since college pa lang ako. Sabi ko, pagtanda ko, gagawa na ako ng theater group. But perhaps somehow yung pagpanaw ni Dr. Ricardo Abad ang nagpabilis nito, nagpa-urgent nito. We were also thinking of coming up with a theater that would promote his legacy or make this legacy known to a lot of people. And what was his legacy? Specifically, when he was our mentor, we learned the classics through him. We learned a kind of preparation in theater through him. So, and we had a kind of discipline and camaraderie that's also unique that siya ang nagpauso. So we wanted to do that. At lahat kami nung pumanaw siya after we did the 40th event for his 40th day of passing. And sabi namin, tuloy na natin to. We first did something under Tanghalang Ateneo or Alma Mater Theater Group. Pero habang niradanas namin doon, it's also unfair to just control the theater group's identity by insisting on what we had. So sabi namin, gawa na tayo ng sarili natin. So we formed Teatro Meron. Initially, we were thinking of a name. We were thinking of Tanghalang Ricardo Abad, Teatro Ricardo Abad, but he himself would not like that. Marami na siyang companies na finound na hindi ganoon. And then we were thinking of Latin phrases, Latin words. Pero nauwi kami sa Teatro Meron. Meron is the word used by Father Roque Farios to translate being. He is the philosophy
Mm.
professor. No? While all others will translate being as pag-iral, Father Farios would translate it pagmemeron. That's very naman uniquely Atenean, but doon nagsimula kay Father Roque Farios sa Ateneo Philosophy Department. And Father Roque Farios was my teacher and also Dr. Ricky Abad's teacher. And so we'd like to be somehow
Mm.
identified as a group that were formed by those who came from Ateneo, but beyond Ateneo na gusto lang namin may ganoong trace. Meron is it means being, no? So it already indicates some commitment to the Filipino language, or the Filipino culture, not necessarily Filipino language, and a connection to the great books also kasi philosophy, so sa mga classical thinking, and so on. So and plus the word meron, rolls off the tongue so well with teatro. So teatro meron, may konting alliteration doon.
Mhm.
And so we formed Teatro Meron, a theater group that was built because to promote Ricky Abad's legacy and more. And we'd like to position ourselves along with the other great theater groups now. Kami yung gusto namin nagtatanghal ng mga classics. Dahil kailangan may gumawa ng papel na
Mm.
yun dito sa landscape ng theater.
Mhm.
And we also wanted to come together. Kami na may training kay Ricky Abad. It's one thing to promote his legacy and another thing to really actualize and apply what we learned. And we have similar
Mm.
trainings. So kami nagsama-sama. Baka pag pumunta kami sa ibang theater group, we will feel like we will have to adjust so much with the way they do things. Pero gusto namin ng pag nasa teatro meron kami, we are at home and we are familiar
Mhm.
with the way things are.
Mhm.
So maybe those three things, no? Legacy of Ricardo Abad, classics, and a group of friends.
Mm.
This group of friends, somehow most of us uh, took a hiatus in theater. Lahat sila may trabaho muna, nag-doctorate muna, nag-law school, naging nanay muna, homemaker. And then now, after 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, iba-iba, no? Nagbabalik kami lahat with the same training under Ricky Abad, and it's just so refreshing
Mhm.
to be together again and living what we used to live
Mm.
as theater people when we were younger.
Interesting name choice, no? Teatro Meron. So
Yeah.
parang teatro being. Can you tell us more? Why did you choose being or meron? Like, I know you explained a while ago
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
pero what about being that? And how
Mm.
does this apply
Yeah.
to your place?
Very deliberately, a lot of directors, even those I've worked with, and even Dr. Ricardo Badu, I claim to learn a lot from, were doing plays that are sociological or socio-political or
Mhm.
cultural. Because that's his background, no? So sociology si Dr. Abad. And necessarily, we've done a lot of plays. They were all praised and acclaimed because of that angle that he has. Pag ginawa niya yung Shakespeare, gagawin niyang ganito. Halimbawa, he did Taming of the Shrew na merong pagpapaamo sa Maldita na parang pinakita niya yung colonization ng mga Amerikano sa mga Pilipino. So when we did The Merchant of Venice, Shylock was playing the Jew na parang siya yung ano doon, siya uh, yung so-called ostracized Mumbai doon. Tapos may
Mm.
mga So maraming ganong mga angles na pinaglalaroan si Dr. Abad. And so are other directors, maraming ganong adaptation and really transplanting the whole concept to the Philippine context or Philippine history or culture. Hindi ako masyadong gano'n. I'd love to do that, no, but hindi ko matatakasan na ang background ko ay philosophy. So the word
Mm.
meron is philosophical. So when I come up with a play or direct something, it's more philosophical. That is not to downplay the sociological or sociopolitical elements of a play. Hindi ko naman tatanggihan yan. Halimbawa, for example, this play that we are going to stage, no, Ang Medea. Ang dami diyan may theme na sociological, feminism, diaspora,
Mm.
lahat-lahat. And of course, that will still surface 'pag ginawa namin 'to. Yun ang laman ng play, eh. But as a philosophy major, ang ilalabas ko diyan is, the human dignity, human condition, that when you strip off, from a human being everything that makes him human, he will act like a beast. Parang gano'n lang. That's not sociological, that's not political, that's human nature. 'Di ba? Alisin mo yung nagpapatao sa tao, magiging halimaw 'yan, magiging hayop 'yan. So that message, or that does not go against the feminism, that does not go against the diaspora elements. But medyo gano'n ang focus ko, eh, kasi ang background ko ay philosophy, and thus I needed a name that is more philosophical than
Mm.
sociopolitical, than cultural. So Teatro Meron, besides the fact that, it was from that word came from Father Roque Ferrios, I think was perfect, no? It
Mm.
actually already prefigures the kind of angle na meron
Mm.
kami. It's always philosophical. Makikita mo rito sa mga susunod naming plays, yung Waiting for Godot, may sasabing political doon, pero papakita ko doon, existentialism talaga, because I understand existentialism. When we did Sopranong Kalbo, like an introductory offer, not yet our first offering, no? Nung when we launched the first season, that also is a theater of the absurd. It is a philosophical concept. Hindi siya basta sociological lang o cultural. And these concepts, I'd like to be able to convey them to a public that we used to think na kala nila mahirap ma-capture yung concept na yun. Hindi. So medyo yun ang aking
Mm.
aking crusade, no, na magkaroon ng mga ganong klaseng profundity, na mga medyo philosophy. At siyempre mahal ko rin yung mga feminism, yung mga sociological, pero more than that, ah, gusto ko yung main concept ng the philosophical concept. May
Mm.
nagtatanong nga sa'kin, "Hindi ba dapat ipalata natin yung, na ibang bayan galing ito at ibang bayan 'to?" Sabi ko, "Yes, pero 'pag nagdi-direct ako, ang mahalaga sa'kin yung arguments." So sige, I'd take that feedback. But you see, ang bias ko talaga palagi na ang linaw-linaw nung aktor, na yung argument na sinasabi niya ang linaw-linaw. Yung iba naman kaya ko ng
Mm.
suspension of disbelief, konting indication lang okey na. Pero sa akin ang non-negotiable, ang linaw, naintindihan ko, yung logic,
Mm.
pati yung metaphysical quality nun kung hindi man logic, yun ang aking bias. So Teatro Meron will showcase, uh, the philosophical, quality of
Mm.
presentations. Siguro, pabibigatan namin yung parang mababaw at pagagaanin namin yung parang mabigat.
Ang lalim pala ng meaning 'no?
Meaning lang, pero yung
Yeah.
aming offering still very relatable. That's something that you will bring home and want to talk about pag-uwi sa
Mm.
bahay. Hopefully, it will,
Mm.
trigger discussions,
Mm.
lively discussions. And, yeah, siguro yun na rin ang nature ko as a teacher.
Mm.
The Socratic element of it, na gusto mo imbis na magdikta ng mga aral, gusto mo magtapon ng mga tanong para sila mismo ang humanap at mag-discern ng mga aral na dapat mapulot, 'no?
Since you've mentioned, Sopranong Kalbo, so how do you usually teach audience discernment through a play like, yun nga, Sopranong Kalbo?
Well, Soprano Cowboy is an absurdist play at marami ng gumagawa niyan dati, pinapanood ko. At 'pag pinapanood ko, maganda naman ginawa nila, pero parang alam mo na hindi nila alam yung philosophical com concept na
Hmm.
absurdist. Ang absurd kasi para sa akin is really also truth. Parang
Hmm.
may truth, 'di ba? Halimbawa, imaginin mo yung isang mukha, nakikita ba ako sa camera, isang mukha, may mata, ilong, bibig. So nakikita mo yan, that's realistic, 'no? Pero sa absurdist gano'n din, mata, ilong, bibig, pero yung isang mata ang laki, may kilay pa, may pilik mata pa. So when you draw it like that, yung iba tuldok-tuldok lang, nakakatuwa yung itsura nito as
Hmm.
opposed to this kasi naka-even out dito, eh.
Hmm.
But this one is still the truth. Yun nga lang, naka-magnify yung isang aspect ng
Hmm.
katotohanan. So para siyang nakakatawa kasi in that context of all the realistic things, bigla kang may ginawang ganito.
Hmm.
So, in Soprano Kalbo, while other people, ang matter kasi sa Soprano Kalbo, man has lost his capacity to communicate. So yung language dun medyo kakaiba at kakatawa. Nung ginagawa yun ng iba, ginagawa pa nilang movement piece, yung ibang mga movement, at ginagawa nilang mas magulo yung hindi, the point is dapat ang linaw nung iba para lumitaw yung hindi mo nilinawan. Kumbaga, para lumitaw yung matang malaki, dapat yung iba realistic. So we had to create a landscape na realistic, ng costume, ng mga mukha ng tao. But when they speak, dun biglang kakaiba yung litaw na litaw ngayon.
Mhm.
So ang mga tao, sabi ko nga, pag sopranong kalbo yan, mga kinuha kong actor necessarily are not mga pipitsuging actors, mga Shakespearean actors yan, mga classical actors. Why? Because they need to say the lines so with so much dignity kahit walang kwenta yung lines. Ulitin ko, they need to say the lines with so much dignity kahit walang kwenta yung lines. So narinig ng mga tao, no, hindi nila naiintindihan yung sinabi. Kumbaga,
Like for example,
um, for example, nyaring yaya papasok. Ako ang katulong at ito ang aking arenola. Kung sinabi niya gano'n, sino magsasabi nun? Arenola. Tapos ikaw bilang audience, ang gulo nun kailangan malinaw na sabi yun ng aktor para nakita ng mga audience. So dapat maintindihan ng audience na hindi niya naintindihan. Ulitin ko maintindihan ng audience na hindi niya naintindihan. As opposed to hindi lang niya naintindihan kasi malabo, hindi niya narinig. Pero ito sobrang linaw, I didn't miss it. And I see it very clearly that it's not supposed to be understood. Malinaw, naiintindihan kong hindi ko naintindihan. As opposed to hindi ko lang naintindihan kasi hindi ko narinig, hindi ko alam yung Tagalog. Hindi, ang linaw ng lahat. Ang linaw ng aktor, ang linaw ng text. Pero obviously, it's not meant to be understood. It's just meant to play with my mind. So, dapat magagaling na aktor, ang lilinaw na aktor. Marunong mag-emphasize ng mga walang kwentang salitang yun. So much, very Shakespearean, no? So much, very much like the classical text na ginagalang mo. So ito, ginagalang nila yung text na wala namang kwenta. And so it's so funny. So lahat siya ang linaw magsalita, tapos yung mga pagkasabi naman ay mga sinasabi naman na content, ay malabo. So man has lost his capacity to communicate.
So ano yung parang takeaway that you want your audience to
Soprano Kalbo, maybe sa Soprano Kalbo,
diba parang maintindihan na hindi nila naintindihan? Medyo ang lalim, no?
yeah.
Pero for you, what's the intention for that?
Una, siyempre yung sabi ko nga kahit di ko sinasadya sa political at sociological, meron ka rin sasabihin. No? Una, pansinin mo tayo ngayon, kung pag-usap tayo para hindi na natin natutumbok yung pinaka-paksa at yung mga gusto nating sabihin, hindi na natin ako-convey ng tama. Dadalang tayo ng dada. Parang ganyan. But on the other hand, place like this make you more humble. Kasi you assume na naintindihan mo lahat palagi. At kung minsan kapag nakakonfront ka ng Sopranong Kalbo o any classical play, you are reminded that truth is more complex. Yung kapwa-tao mo is more complex. So you become less judgmental. You become less quick to jump to conclusions. Hindi ka na nagkakahon. Ganito yan eh. You become, hindi na predictable to. For example, mahirap yung Soprano Kalbo. That in itself is really a philosophical text, no? Something realistic like Medea. Medea, hindi naman na sekreto to kasi classical. Medea, because of what was done to her, had to murder her loved ones. So, pero nagtataka ka ngayon after watching it, why was I rooting for her? Am I evil? So suddenly, things are not black and white anymore. So siguro manunod ka kasi ng classical play, una para ma-entertain. So sabi ko, nakakatuwa, nakatutuwa, nakatatalino, at saka nakababait. Yun yung tatlong pag classical play. So, una nakatutuwa, entertainment, no? Nakatatalino, so you suddenly think of things that you never thought about. So, tulad sa Medea, hindi lang basta black and white. I need to, parang gray siya eh. So, it takes a lot of discernment and deliberation and even debate with another person. Ano ba tama yun? Gray kasi eh. So, you're looking for the lesser evil na lang. Hindi black and white. Hindi evil or good, no? Lesser evil or greater good. Ganyan na lang palagi. And because of that, nakakabait, nakakabuti. Kasi you become less judgmental. So, nakatutuwa, nakatatalino, tsaka nakabubuti. And that is the transformation and education na talagang background ko na gusto kong gamitin ang theater for. So, only in that, and doing theater like that, doon nagsama-sama, nag-asawa lahat yung gusto ko sa buhay. Na philosophy and theater and education and helping the Filipinos. Doon nagsama-sama. So, gano'n ang ibig sabihin. Hindi para lituhin sila, kundi para magbigay ng salamin sa kanila. Marami kasing plays, halimbawa na why I do the classics, may mga plays na modern and they're very good, no? paano ko ba papaliwanag yan? Kunyari, ubo.
Mm.
May inuubo, yan yung realidad na gusto mong pakita sa mga tao. So, puwede ka magpakita ng dula na mini-mirror lang yung umuubo. Pero may mga dula na ang ipapakita sa'yo, yung dahilan ng ubo na may mga virus na ganyan. So, lumina yan yung mga socio-political, ganyan. Pero yung classics, meron yun, pinapakita niya yung ubo, pinapakita yung virus, pinapakita niya pa yung respiratory system, parang anatomy ng buong phenomenon na yun. And so sabi, hindi naman dated naman, na very dated naman yan eh. Hindi naman na yan modern. Ang modern kasi yung ubo. Pero kung itong aralin mo, kahit pa sabihin natin naka-costume sila ng Greek o naka-costume sila ng, ng makaluma, you understand suddenly why it led to that. And so your interventions or even your concepts and understanding is formed by this understanding, hindi yung dito lang, hindi yung mababaw lang, hindi lang yung sa ubo na naintindihan mo, hindi lang yung virus, kundi how the respiratory systems work. Yung katulad ng sabi ko, kaya naging ganun sa Medea kasi inalis mo lahat sa kanya, yung nagpapatao sa kanya. And suddenly, relatable siya. Tinanggal mo ba naman lahat ng meron siya? Bubong sa kanyang bumbunan, yung mga mahal niya sa buhay, nalis mo lahat. So, parang na siyang nagwasiwas ng kanyang ng natitirang power na meron siya, binasiwas niya para gumawa ng gulo.
Wow.
Parang
Wow.
gano'n.
That
So,
must
but if you understand it like that, hindi
Yeah.
na siya basta feminism lang. Parang kahit lalaki makaka-relate sa ginawa niya. Hindi na siya diaspora lang, how somebody na na-uproot mula sa kanyang sinilangang bayan behaves. Hindi lang. Mahalaga 'yon. Pero ang naintindihan mo talaga is the human condition. So, laging ganyan.
Wow.
I'm excited to show that I was excited to show
Okay.
that in Soprano Cabo, excited to show that here in Medea. Ganyan din ang gagawin ng Waiting for Godot.
Okay.
Another absurd display, and Apologia ni Socrates. Yung
Okay.
Apologia ni Socrates is the last play of the season, first season, kasi necessarily, it's Father Roque Ferrios written, and we will mention the word meron there. So, baka dapat muna na yung
Okay.
palabas siya. And
Okay.
then the second season will be
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, no? So, what was the pivotal moment in your life that you recognize na, theater as an inherently creative art was actually your most potent tool for educational leadership and nation building?
When I experienced it myself. So, luckily, nagdudula naman na ako nung high school eh. At mga dula na sinulat namin. So, ang nakuha ko mula sa high school ay nabawasan yung hiya ko. At lumaki yung boses ko kasi wala namang mic sa gymnasium namin. Umaarte kami sa gymnasium, lumaki yung boses namin. So, nagpunta ko sa Ateneo, doon yung parang pinaka-formal na training ko, college na. Although may equipment na ako malaking boses at saka yung Tagalog ko ay maayos. So, natuwa sa amin si Dr. Abad and suddenly, gumawa na siya ng mga dula na medyo classical. I have actors who are clear and very, very good voices. So, sama-sama kami noon. Kami ni Gabe Mercado, ni na Pauline Suaco, Joseph De La Cruz, ganyan, sina Eboy Paez, malalaking boses namin.
Okay.
At ginawa niya yung mga dulang yon. So, I was first part of Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream, Pangarap sa Isang Gabi ng Gitang Tagarao. And then somebody else directed it, si Father Rene Avellana, Immortal Diamond. And then sumunod doon, El Filibusterismo. Ako si Basilio. Si Basilio sa El Filibusterismo, hindi na siya yung bata, siya na yung doktor. So, habang ginagampanan ko yon, until I played, siguro bandang second year, roles like Hamlet, like Romeo, nagampanan ko na po yung mga yan. And then I'm trying to make sense of the lines and internalize them. Before I know it, parang maayos na tao na ako. Nararamdaman mo bigla na parang ikaw mismo, I am more profound now than what Ron, the person, used to be. So because of delving and immersing myself into these characters and into theater, no, even the work, not just the roles, no, parang nakaka-purify talaga siya ng tao. So
Wow.
I wanted audiences to experience that, even to the extent of inviting people to do theater because of what I experienced myself. Parang yun na nga, yung sinasabi ko, sumaya ako, lumawak ako, at saka bumuti ako eh.
Wow.
Dahil so sabi ko, ano man ang magiging gagawin ko pagtanda ko, I'm sure may theater doon. because of
Okay.
how powerfully transformative this is.
Okay. Wow.
And kahit hindi yun ang yakapin mong career or profession, just make sure that you have that element in your
Mm.
life. At hindi nyo na itatanong, di ba sa theater at lahat, part din ako ng Role Players. Role Players is a training company. I founded that with Ricky Abad, Joseph De La Cruz, and Voltaire Gonzalez. At yun ay training company sa corporate clients, sa government clients, kahit sa iba-iba pang groups using theater
Mhm.
to achieve corporate goals. So you see, I
Can you tell
believe.
us a bit about that?
Okay, so for
Yeah.
example, if a company na needs to improve something about their service kasi nakita nila sa feedback sa kanila na mababa. And then so we come in, they get us, and we try to understand. Customize naman yung program namin. And nakita namin ang problem nila ay, kasi maganda naman palagi yung vision at mission. But the thing is, how much have you, quote unquote, internalized the vision? Baka mamaya alam mo lang siya lip servicely, no?
Mm.
How much have you are you playing your roles really well? You see, the words I'm using, internalize, playing your roles, these are all acting terms. So what we are trying to do in role players is to make people do their roles
Mhm.
the best way possible.
So what activities do you usually tell them?
Okay, so you introduce to them text versus subtext, for example.
Mhm.
So, bakit ang baba ng rating namin? No, good afternoon, ma'am naman kami sa mga kliyente namin. Sige, sabihin mo ngayon, good afternoon, ma'am, pero ang subtext is what's running in your mind, no? And we teach them that. Ang subtext mo, sige, mag-subtext tayo. Sabihin natin, ang line mo lang ay, ang ganda, ang subtext mo ay, grabe, sobrang ganda. And they will learn to say, ang ganda. Okay, ang line mo ay, I hate you, pero ang subtext ay, I like you very much. I hate you. Natututuklasan na nila. O ngayon, subukan ninyo. Ang text ninyo ay, good afternoon, ma'am. Ang subtext niyo ay, buwisit, dumating ka pa.
Mhm.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ay, oo nga, no. Ganun pa rin sila. They realize that they
Wow.
never watched their subtext.
Wow.
Kala nila, by saying the text, it already is compliance. No. Kasi ang universal language talaga ay hindi English, kundi subtext. Kahit batang paslit, lolong ulyanin, nakapag-aral, di nakapag-aral, kapareho mo ng salita, nababasa niya ang subtext. So yung mga customer ninyo na good afternoon, ma'am nyo, nararamdaman nila yung subtext ninyo.
Mm.
And then, may subtext naman tayo lahat eh.
Mm.
But when they attend that workshop, they realize that there's subtext and they become the captains of their subtext.
Para
Dati
lang-
kasi hindi eh.
Para lang mas maintindihan ng viewers natin, no, and listeners, ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng subtext?
Subtext siguro para mabilis na lang. May text, di ba? Yan yung lalabas ng bibig natin. Yung nakikita mong text, no? Na nakasulat o binibigkas mo. Ang subtext, ayun yung nakalubog na text. Parang submarine. Yung
Subconscious?
subtext. Hindi. Lagi ka namang may subtext kahit di ka nagsasalita. Madalas, ang subtext mo, minsan ang subtext mo, ayun ding text mo. Kung ano yung sinasabi ko, yun ang subtext ko ngayon. Wala ako iniisip na parang, minsan may sinasabi ka na parang, loko-loko to di ko to gusto. So yun na, sabihin ko yun nang hindi ako nagsasalita. Tapos pag sinabi kong kumusta? Nakikita mo ng subtext ko hindi kita gusto. Pero ang text ko ay kumusta? It's a very warm text, right? Alam niyo po, ang text ay 7% lang. Ang subtext ay 93%. Don't get
So
me wrong.
di ba body language yata?
Lahat na yan.
Oo.
Even your silence, even your tone, even
Mm.
that's not body language. Lahat na, all non-verbals. Yan na. Subtext yung, hindi yung subtext yung non-verbal. Subtext ang fuel ng lahat ng non-verbals na yun.
Mm-mm. So is it like what you're feeling at the moment, what you're thinking at the moment?
Yes.
Mhm.
And even unwittingly. So, pag alam mo na yung subtext, mas binabantayan mo na yung subtext mo.
Mhm.
Yung mga naging kliyente namin, nagiging gawin na nila sa opisina nila na parang, oo ka ng oo dyan, ang subtext mo naman, hindi. So parang they become very aware of subtext kasi nag-role players
Okay.
workshop na sila. So that is the kind of service we have. We make them understand. Actor alone pa lang yan. Actor alone. May actor co-actor pa. Actor co-actor, that's when you realize what listening really is. Na hindi mo naman alam. So these lessons, hindi mo yan.
Wow.
Marami nagtuturo ng what to say, yung 7%. And don't get me wrong, mahalaga yun. Alam nga naman, mali ang sabihin mo.
Oo.
But the bigger part of communication is 93%. Walang nag-workshop doon. Theater lang. So there's really value in getting theater people
Mhm.
to help your company.
Okay.
Kahit di man theater ang end mo in mind. But just playing your roles really well. If it's about communication, if it's winning audiences to your side, all all companies naman yan ang gusto winning audience to your side, building a team,
Mm.
pare-pareho lang tayo
Okay.
So, may dahilan ba't kailangan kang matuto ng theater skills, theater knowledge, theater values,
Mm.
and to use in your own field.
Mm.
So marami na. At lahat ng clients namin are return clients.
Mhm.
Dito na rin sila,
Wow.
meron kami sa service, meron din ba kayo na creativity? Meron din ba kayo about leadership? Meron din ba kayo about change management? These are all corporate pursuits, no? Hindi na yan theater pursuits, but yes, there always is.
Okay.
So sama-sama kami sa group na yon. Ako yata yung may alam sa teaching and theater exercises kasi yun talaga ginagawa ko. Nag-coach ako ng actors. Pero meron doon na taga-HR, si Joseph, nag-HR siya sa isang company malaki. Si Voltaire naman is about marketing. Si Ricky naman is sociology and anthropology. So when we come up with something
Mm.
to customized for a client, naisip na namin lahat yung practicability nun and even the customization na talagang sa pool yung target kapag yun ang pinaranas mo sa kanila.
Okay.
And ganda naman evaluation namin. So what I'm saying is we have role players na nakita mo how theater, based on how I experienced it, has become something that I so believe in terms of transforming people, in terms of educating them, in terms of even changing their lives for the better.
Okay. So, ano yung unique wisdom na na-gain mo through time from, the difficult process of translating classics into local language? Yung mga pinaka natutunan mo ever since?
Baka two things.
Sige,
Ngayon ko lang inisip
Okay
yun,
lang,
pero
okay lang.
palagay ko two things. Unang-una, translating itself is a good exercise to gauge kung naintindihan mo talaga yung isang classical text. So gusto ko lang mag-translate ng mahirap na text ng great books, ng classical text. So kaya ba? Kaya ko bang isalin yan? Ibig sabihin, that's also an exercise for your mind to stretch at kaya mo bang masaklaw? Ang term ko nga dun sa English ay, can I conquer this text using my language? So somehow it's a celebration of the power of Filipino. Kasi di ba, kung kaya ng Filipino na isa diwa, yung diwa nung malaking text na yun, na sikat, na mahal ng mundo, maganda ang Filipino. So yun yung isa doon. Una, exercise ng sarili ko at pangalawa, pagdiriwang ng wikang Filipino. So in a way, napaglilingkuran ko una yung sarili ko para lumawak yung utak ko. Para kasi hindi yan ano bang salita rito, parang gano'n. At yung susunod ay, ang galing ng Filipino. Example. Sabi ako ng example, o naman ako nasa isip na example. Ano yung example? For example, merong line halimbawa na, eat your heart out. Okay? Eat your heart out. Ang ibig sabihin nun, mamatay ka sa inggit. Parang gano'n, di ba? Pero sa Shakespeare, pag nagsalin ka, he will use the line, eat your heart out. Example lang tao, walang eat your heart out sa Shakespeare. Eat your heart out. Kung babanggitin niya mamaya yung activity ng eating ulit. So mamatay ka sa inggit, parang nang eating na siya, kumain ka na ng pagkain mo. Nawala na yung connection. Sa English, may connection yung eat your heart out dito, yung eating mamaya-maya. So it's important, when you translate eat your heart out, to translate first the literal, pati literal yung iba kasi yung spirit na lang. So, literal, so dapat eat your heart out. Mamatay ka sa inggit. Yung spirit lang yung translate ko the essence, no? Di pati literal. So dapat yung aking pangsalin, kailangan meron din siyang literal. So imbis na mamatay ka sa inggit, kailangan ko gamitin maglaway ka sa inggit. Para mamaya pag may allusion uli sa eating, hindi ko nawala yon. Di ba? Parang gano'n. So, anong salitang kakapture ko rito? Ano pa bang so meron isang dula na Everyman, one word, no? Everyman. Ang title niya Everyman. So bawat tao. So anong magandang title nito para malakas din tulad ng Everyman? So we came up with sangkatao. Parang parang maikling sangkatauhan siya. So ang di ko alam kung malinaw ko dito, no?
Yeah.
You are translating the literal sense, the essence, yung spirit, at yung pangatlo pati artistry. So sana pag nagsalin ka, mas maganda yung salin mo kaysa original. Otherwise, huwag mo na isalin. Yun na lang. So kung nagsalin ka na pan lang naman, pipitsugin lang naman, inferior naman, dapat pag sinalin mo. Magaling. So yun yun. So yun yung parang sinasabi ko na exercise talaga sa isip. Paano mo siya halimbawa,
Mm.
okay, example, live simply that others may simply live. Live simply that others may simply live. Dalawang simple yun, ha. So, mamuhay ka ng simple lang para mabuhay sigurado yung iba. Yun ang sali niya, essence. So, dapat pating literal. Mabuhay ka ng simple lang para literal din yun. Wala yung artistry. Yung artistry, simple. Yung pangatlong level, no?
Mhm.
Simple and simple. Di ko naman maulo. Wala naman word sa Filipino na simple at simple parehong ano na lang. So, I came up with mamuhay ng payak, ang iba'y buhay ring tiyak. So,
Wow.
you have your own artistry. Hindi mo naulit yung same word, no? Yeah. Halimbawa, si Juliet, sa Romeo and Juliet, parting is such sweet sorrow. Galing naman nun. Is such sweet sorrow. Puro S, puro. How do you even repeat that? So yung mga estudyante ko pinagawa ko at sabi ko, tinan niyo yung literal, yung spirit, tapos yung artistry. Nung sa
Mm.
artistry, nagkakatalo na. And they came up with so many good translations. Parting is such sweet sorrow, naging kay tamis na hapis ng pag-alis. Sabi ng isang
Wow.
bata. Yung isa
Mm.
ba, yung isa
Okay.
namang bata, kay tamis na lumbay ng paghihiwalay.
Mm.
So these things. So going back to your initial question, ganda siyang exercise sa isip.
Okay.
At pangalawa, maganda rin siyang pagdiriwang ng capacity of power ng Filipino language.
Mhm.
So you're serving two things, yourself, na unat mo, at yung pag-promote mo ng wika bilang isang wika na kaya yung mga higanteng diwa.
Mhm.
Then,
Okay.
twofold na yun nagagawa mo.
Mhm.
Kaya masarap pag-translate.
So before we end, no, and for every guest namin sa Unifest Talk, so we have a question na mandatory siya, and because we know, 'di ba, na ang long-term success is built not with just one big decision but with a series of tiny and consistent actions, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So for you, what is your one non-negotiable habit, routine, or ritual that para sa'yo you must do every day?
Hindi po pinahanda sa akin 'tong tanong na 'to, gusto ko lang malaman ng mga nakikinig. Pero isipin ko talaga siya. I don't know if it's a habit, pero habit na rin nga yata, and then a lot of people, because for me, everything is opportunity. Walang failure sa akin. It's just a gate towards something new, even if it seems sad and seems like a loss right now. Everything is opportunity. Matagal na ito. Lagi akong masaya, lagi akong, okay, ganyan, tara. And kung may nawala, baka opportunity yan. Kung merong hirap, baka opportunity yan. And totoo rin naman. Parang nga lang siyang silver lining, no? Pero hindi ko sinasabi there's always silver lining. Pag nakita ko, pag reconfigure mo isang bagay, I think the creative mind in you will always say, o di ganito, o di ganito.
Mhm.
There are so many ways to skin a cat. And somehow, hindi tinatamad ka ng isipin yung mga ways na yun kung walang mga quote-unquote failures. That's why they are not failures.
Mhm.
They are stimuli. And
Mhm.
everything is opportunity. Yan yata ang aking
Mhm.
palaging habit, no? Maglungkutan na kayo lahat dyan. At malungkot naman talaga, but just welcome that perspective na malamang opportunity siya. Even in death. So may napatay na akong loved ones, no? Siyempre malungkot ka. Isipin mo palagi, okay, it's an opportunity. Nagsama-sama uli yung pamilya ninyo, lahat-lahat. Everything is opportunity. So kung yun ang magandang habit sa buhay. Kasi yun din ang nagpapahaba ng buhay mo. At
Mhm.
mahabang buhay na masaya, hindi lang basta mahabang buhay na matamlay.
Mhm.
At exciting, at nakakabata, at laging nakakabata, no?
Mhm.
At ano pa ba? At regalo rin siya sa kapwa mo na nakapaligid sa'yo.
Mhm.
So, yun
Wow.
siguro yung habit na gusto ko na bahagi sa inyo na meron ako. Mahirap siya sa una, parang ang hirap gawin, pero kung palagi ka ng gano'n, ay nakakasaya ng buhay yun.
Mhm.
At
Mhm.
nakasasaya rin ang mga taong nakapaligid
Mhm.
sa'yo.
Mhm.
So, everything is opportunity, everything is feedback, hindi yan failure.
Mhm.
Uh, and uh, and sana ma mag magkaya ng isip natin na hanapin pa yung ibang paraan ng pagtingin sa maraming bagay.
Mhm.
Not to romanticize lahat ng mga pagdurusa, but, yeah, kundi para makita na parang lahat naman ng pag-akyat mahirap, eh. So, pero yun lang ang paraan para umabot ka sa tuktok.
Mhm.
So, hindi
Mhm.
romanticize, hirap talaga siya, mahirap.
Mm, mm,
Pero dusahin mo
mm,
kasi masaya naman sa
mm.
tuktok, eh,
Yeah.
parang gano'n.
Akala ko isasalin mo rin yung ano, there are many ways to skin a cat.
Oh, mahirap na yun.
Anyway, pero sige. So thank you so much, Ron, no? And your story of elevating passions and art as a powerful engine
Yeah,
for
yeah.
educational transformation and cultural transformation,
Yeah.
and your commitment to what we call intentional endurance,
Oo,
the grit required, no, especially
ganyan.
to really sustain high art
Ganyan.
is exactly the blueprint that our listeners need. So maraming salamat, Ron. And if there's anything you wanna say, final words.
Um, well, marami pa, pero siguro mas maganda tangkilikin niyo po yung Ang Medea, papalabas namin. Dun niyo makikita lahat, yung pagsasalin. Hindi ako nagsalin, ni Rolando Tino, ancient Greek language. Siya kasi ang idol ko, eh, si Rolando Tino sa pagsasalin, 'no. Kasi yun, yung literal essence tsaka artistry, sinasalin niya ng sabay-sabay. So, para makita niyo po lahat ng sinabi ko, yung Ang Medea nandoon. You will, like-minded, thespians makikita niyo ron na katulad ko, ang training ni Ricardo, but lahat ng pinag-usapan ko ngayon kitang-kita niyo doon. And more, pati sarili niyo makikita niyo ron kasi nga
Mhm.
classic yun. So, please, don't miss it. Magpapalabas kami
Mhm.
sa The Mind Museum, sa Special Exhibition Hall ng The Mind Museum, starting November 13, hanggang buong Nobyembre yan. Tingnan niyo na lang po yung mga nakapaskil sa social media.
Mhm.
Sana makita niyo talaga, sapul na sapul nun lahat itong pinag-uusapan ko.
Mhm.
Kumbaga, sa iceberg, 7% yung pinag-usapan namin ngayon, erection, talaga 93%.
Mhm.
Danasin niyo yung Medea. I think uuwi kayo ng busog, masaya, at saka mabuting tao.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much,
Sige.
Ron. And so until next time, keep trusting yourself and committing to the process. I'm your host, Rex Remitio, and this is Unifest Talks. That was another masterclass in sustainable success. If today's conversation showed you anything, it's that your vision is worth the focus, and the journey demands your resilience, not your burnout. Take one unconventional step today towards manifesting the best version of you. Again, a huge thank you to our partner HKB Digital for supporting the collective's vision for Unifest Talks. And special thanks to the following for their support: Eastern Communications and Ayala Foundation. To catch all the lessons from our guests, hit subscribe wherever you are tuning in and follow Unifest on all social media platforms. Visit unifest.com to access the show notes and connect with our global co-creators of tomorrow. Until next time, keep trusting yourself and committing to the process.